we were covering Latin America as if it was local news. That was really important back then, as people later on hear about Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and Libya as the most important stories. Back then, in the early 1980s, Central America was the center of the world, and that was where the Soviet Union and the United States were fighting the ideological wars. Mm. So it was important to be with the rebels, to understand what they were going through, especially in El Salvador and Nicaragua. And it was important to represent also the U.S. point of view. So that balance was very important. And also the most important thing was to have access to all the people involved in these wars. So that's when I first did my interviews with presidents. Mm-hmm. And that's when I learned that covering wars was going to be probably one of the most difficult things for anybody's life. You think that you can stand anything as a reporter. The reality is that you try to distance yourself from what you are seeing. And at the end, you'll pay a huge cost for that. Because seeing people dying, or in natural disasters, or after 9/11, or covering the war in Afghanistan and in Iraq, or the first Persian Gulf War, it has a profound effect in your life. You think you can compartmentalize that, and at the end you can't. You think that you're strong enough to stand anything. And as a human being, what you are going through is only taking that emotions and putting them in a place, and at some point in your life, it'll explode. And it happened to me many, many years later. I think journalists as soldiers go through a very difficult process in which, by suppressing your emotions in order to report in a balanced way or in a controlled way, you pay a huge emotional cost at the end.